I chain smoke and I say fuck a lot. But I accept myself for the way I am. I accept you too. Viewer discretion advised.
August 12, 2019. This had nothing to do with this video, but this happened today. Federal investigators raid Epstein's pedophile island. At least a dozen members of Customs and Border Protection and the FBI landed on Jeffrey Epstein's infamous Little St. James, nicknamed Pedophile Island, in the U.S. Virgin Islands on Monday, 2 days after the accused child sex trafficker was found dead in his Manhattan prison cell in an apparent suicide. Multiple news outlets captured video and photos of the agents landing at the island's dock by boat, with some agents then getting into golf carts while other agents appeared to search the surrounding water in scuba gear. Yes, we're on the island, an FBI spokesperson told the Washington Examiner, but we can't provide any further detail, unfortunately. I've already mentioned some of this before, but in reading the documents, it goes into more detail. In the words of Virginia Roberts Jeffrey, the way it usually worked was I'd been sent to meet a man on the private island Jeffrey owned in the Caribbean, or at his ranch in New Mexico, which was really isolated. I met famous friends of his such as Al Gore and Heidi Klum and Naomi Campbell. FBI told me that Epstein had hidden cameras watching me the entire time, even when I was in the bathroom. I was so embarrassed. The FBI told me everything he did was illegal because I was underage. We were driven to a private airstrip and took off for Los Angeles. On the plane was an unexpected visitor. Matt Groening, the producer of the SINSKINS TV show, was catching a ride with us. I was excited as I loved watching his show and acted like a starstruck fan, asking him everything from his initial idea for creating the show to where he got his characters from. He told me it was all based on his own family makeup, but without the crazy father and son scenes of Homer's hand around Bart's throat. I was enjoying our conversation when Jeffrey insisted that I give Matt a foot massage throughout the duration of the short flight. I never turned down a client, but when I saw the shape of his feet, I nearly threw up at the thought of having to touch them. He had yellow, crusty toenails that even someone with a chainsaw would have had troubles cutting through. And then there was his fluffy balls of leftover pieces of sock wedged between the crevices of his sweaty toes. Now that was the real icing on the cake for me. No way could I attempt this, I thought. Then I had an idea. I went to the back of the plane and rinsed a washcloth in warm soapy water and returned for his dreaded foot massage, but not before attempting to clean them first. In return for my service, Matt was kind enough to draw me 2 quick sketches on blank paper from his briefcase of my 2 favorite characters, Homer and Bart. I asked if he would make them out to my little brother and dad, the true fans of the family, not missing an episode during dinner over the past 10 years or so. Next to the A4 size drawing, he was able to fit the quote, "To my greatest fan," from Matt Groening, and their names next to it. I knew they'd absolutely love it, and it was such a nice gesture. His feet were no longer an issue as I laughed it off and even made a joke to the comedian about getting a pedicure before hitting beaches. This is Virginia Roberts Jeffrey discussing Nadia Bajorlin, Days of Our Lives actress. Later on, Jeffrey, Nadia, and I went to a production studio in LA, where we had to meet with Nadia's agent, as well as the producer of Days of Our Lives. I looked into that. There's been many producers over the many years, and the ones that fit in the time frame, there's probably at least 8, so I don't know who that is at this moment. The meeting lasted 5 minutes, with everyone in consent to the proposal. We flew all the way out there to talk about money, only to be leaving that evening back to New York City. Affidavit of Juan P. Alessi. Juan Alessi worked for Mr. Epstein from January 1991 to December of 2002 as a full-time employee, performing maintenance services, and then also became the manager for the home on 358 El Brillo Way in Palm Beach, Florida. Before asking me about Jeffrey Epstein speaking to celebrities at the house, the attorney for Jane Doe 102 asked me about Jean-Luc Brunel, Mark Epstein, Daniel Estes, Matt Groening, and Leslie Wexner. I then listed Senator Mitchell, Prince Andrew, Princess Sarah Ferguson, Miss Yugoslavia, Miss Germany, Alan Dershowitz, Princess Diana's secretary with her children, Mr. Trump, Mr. Robert Kennedy Jr., Frederick Fekkai, and a couple of Nobel Prize winners as celebrities that I had seen while working for Mr. Epstein. I also mentioned a reunion of Nobel Prize winners that was held at the house, and that I met President Clinton at Mr. Epstein's place the last month that I was working for Mr. Epstein. And as far as I know, the investigations are not over.
But what will happen to the other people around him who may have helped facilitate this?
Well, there's no bar to the federal government going forward against those individuals. I actually think that there should have been legal impediments to the case against Epstein in federal court due to his plea deal, especially pertaining to the Florida acts that he was indicted under in New York court. I do think that they will be able to go forward against the other possible defendants, the targets or subjects of investigation, and for them, they won't be able to contest certain items that were discovered in his apartment.
Everything's speeding up, so let's see what happens tomorrow.
Fucking stoned.